Sri Krishna Paramatma continues to encourage Arjuna by explaining the truth and untruth of this reality. The reason why Bhagavad Gita was not widely encouraged by the spiritual readers is because of the wrong and vague interpretations of Sri Krishna Paramatma's message. Here I am taking anecdotes from Vedanta, Upanishads, and well known philosophers of our era and previous era, and we shall decode the real meaning of Bhagavad Gita verse by verse, so it won't be very vague and disinteresting. As Arjuna was complaining to give up this battle as he couldn't fight his own kith and kin and the soldiers in the Kaurava army, as he felt guilty about the families that will be left alone after killing all those warriors and so on, Sri Krishna Paramatma continues explaining to him that he shouldn't worry about the things, that is the human bodies, that will wither away over time. As Krishna Paramatma said earlier, the soul of a human is only permanent and the unchanging thing. The human body, from the day it's born, it's starting to perish, and one day it will wither away completely, either in this battle or by its own. Through this battle, the soldiers are getting a dignified death. Also, the body is ever perishing, so the enemies in the battle have chosen their path to end their life here. It is their own choice. Also, by killing these bodies, you aren't going to kill the soul. The consciousness that is inside the body of all beings are always going to exist in this universe. The consciousness hiding behind this body could never be killed by anybody, and it is untouched by the sensory perceptions. Now, what Sri Krishna Paramatma really meant by this message: just give up the attachment, and you are not real, the soul is real, the consciousness is supreme, and you are the spark of the spirit. These messages, in literal sense, make sense, but how could we really understand and experience it? Let's see that in detail. So, Sri Krishna Paramatma said, by killing the bodies of these warriors, the souls couldn't be hurt. We are all different forms of the same soul. And Swami Ramsukh Das give an example that iron is the base for even a machine gun, a war weapon, or even a knife. And even though the forms are different, the entity made out of iron has nothing but iron in it. Similarly, we are all nothing but the supreme light in essence, even though we have been given certain freedom to choose our form and path in our life. We still hold the light inside of us, which we are yet to be aware of. Imagine the soul is like the sun. Morning we are aware of the sun. Evening, as we navigate away from it, as we are in this earth, we aren't aware of the sun anymore. Similarly, the soul is always shining the light on us. It's our responsibility to navigate ourselves, our consciousness towards the soul. Nobody can grab it from us, nor the soul would expect anyone else but us to realize its presence. The main problem arises because of our sense of attachment to the material world and even our own body. The word attachment has been very much hyped and exaggerated by the modern day spiritual speakers. Attachment, in a sense, is the sense of ownership we have over the things around us. So we claim certain things to be ours and we need it, we want it, this is mine, and I bought it, I earned it, and so on. So, attachment strengthens when we imagine things by default. For example, we think, I am living in my beautiful home. So, Sri Krishna Paramatma is not denying the experience we would like to have or we enjoy having. Here, if we remove the I and the my in these statements, it is like living in the beautiful home. So, that is the experience that we are all here for, but not controlled by those experiences or desires. When we remove the sense of possession and enjoy only the experience of it, our life becomes very light and unburdened. Sri Krishna Paramatma was telling Arjuna to not to be a victim of his emotional mind. We are also often taken by our emotions relative to what's happening around us. If you are at a beautiful beach, we are naturally at peace. When we are in a stressful environment, we naturally affiliate ourselves to the stressful emotions. This is because of a sense of fear which we are unaware as humans. We are afraid of this unseen and unpredictable.
We have many fears. Fear of darkness, fear of living, fear of public opinion. Why hasn't that same brain applied apply to this enormous sense of fear man has from the beginning of days. Why? Which means, why have you, the speaker, have not gone into this question seriously, as you do go very seriously when you are hungry, when you are ambitious, when you want more money, you work at it. Why have we not gone into this question of fear? Is it possible to end fear? We're going to go into that. Apply not only your feelings, your emotions and your brain to work at this, not escape from it, not try to rationalize it.
Sri Krishna Paramatma is asking Arjuna and indirectly the readers of Bhagavad Gita, the spiritual seekers, to boldly enter the mind and witness what's the emotion going on, where it's coming from, what is the smoke. We have our own God force always watching over us, so it's time we no longer become a victim of emotions and be a brave seeker. We are attached to this body in our perception because we experience the pleasure and pain with this body. Those experiences aren't unreal. We can't simply live in denial of what we experience. Paramahamsa Yogananda says we experience this body only through the sense perceptions. When we meditate and go deeper in our awareness, we slowly lose our identification with time and the senses also dissolve into the stillness. Sri Krishna Paramatma here implies that killing your enemies as a moral duty is not a sin, just like a surgeon will be stopping the heart of a patient to save the patient, as Arjuna had to do it for saving his own kingdom and his countrymen. Also, going to higher plane of awareness with the help of meditation won't necessarily destroy our senses. It will only purify and transform our senses so we could cultivate sattvic thoughts, intents, and thus the experiences helping our elevation. As we rejoice in changing old clothes and putting on new clothes, we shouldn't cling to this old body, as the soul will be taking on a new form as per the karmic memory after this life. God has given his sparks of consciousness, which is us, in this human form, to realize the eternal bliss and be free. Bhagavad Gita shows the way by three modes, either through discipline of action, that is karma yoga, discipline of knowledge, that is jnana yoga, and discipline of devotion, that is bhakti yoga. A seeker may pursue any of these paths as he wishes. But as a spiritual seeker, pursuing any of these paths should be cautious of the emotions and our identification with the material things and our ego mind. For example, in Karma Yoga, the efforts has to be non-egotistical and we should not be clinged either to the efforts or to the result of the actions. In Jnana Yoga, we should not be identified with a sense of higher ego, that is sophisticated ego, that is we are above all the rest of the beings on this earth. So we should be cautious of how we feel, how humble we are, no matter how advanced we are in the path of spirituality. Also, the Bhakti Yoga, which is said to be the simplest and easiest path to the divine, we should be cautious of the faith and surrender we have towards our inner being or the external God as we perceive it to be. As Mother says, if there is a sense of sacrifice in our surrender, then it is no longer a surrender. If we misuse the pursuing paths to the divinity, deluded by our ego mind, we again struck into the cycle of birth and death. Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare.